joining with computer. Yeah. Londo is back. He's waiting for Landon. Let's give him a minute. I would have thought that as a result of lockdown and people having had some time away from work, yeah, the pressures build up if you're not earning an income, but at least they would have had time to reflect a bit, see where they can maybe, when they do eventually return to work, and do better at what they did. But I don't think that actually was a lasting experience. Maybe the first week back at work, but maybe we should only work every second week. What do you think? That would be cool. Just by the time you get bored, let's go back. Okay, now you're at work again. Oh, no, no, I've had enough of you guys. Okay, I need another week's break. I don't know, but I'm very much in favor of the 4 days get paid for five type of management style that a lot of companies employ nowadays. That's quite good. Actually, people are more productive, huh? Believe it or not. Why? Because they are rewarded properly. They know they're not going to lose money if they don't work 5 days and only four. And they also look forward to, I'm getting extra day off. It's like you not having class on a Friday. Huh? I promise you. You don't feel bad. You say, oh, she doesn't class on a Friday. I want a refund. I don't pay the same as these people. They have class on a Friday. No, you say, I'm glad for you pay the same as them because I have Friday off. It's a bonus. People think like that. And that it is a benefit. It is a benefit, especially if you have 5 assignments for next week. Um, you can start already tomorrow. And then you have the student says, I'm not going to start tomorrow because if I had class on the Friday, I wouldn't have been able to work on my assignment because I would have been in class. But you're not. Yeah, well, you'll find a way to convince yourself. We know that. It's fine. I have a son as a student too, as well. I know. Always find an excuse not to do it rather than a reason to do it. Anyway, um, right, Luandu is back. Landon is probably had a better offer or making himself a cup of coffee before the next period starts. What have you got after this? With Mr. T. Okay. I'm sure he'll be back then. Right, let's look at different types of selling that we can find and that's been identified. You've got your trade selling, and your trade selling is usually focusing on the functions that support the whole process. Um, like, for instance, your promotional support. So it's the other, um, I'm going to say faculties, the other departments in your business who support the sales team to ensure that they reach and make a transaction. The missionary selling is where salespeople focus on facilitating sales through other channels. So they use other people to do the specific function because they don't have to. They sort of outsource it. And said, listen, guys, I mean, we don't have the capacity to do it, but we'll like your business. They don't tell him that. They at some point in the negotiation, however, you say, listen, when we get to that point, just before we deliver the stuff, we don't have the capacity for the quantity that you've bought to actually store the stuff here. But we have a wholesaler that we are happy with. This is our wholesaler. Are you okay with him? Okay, that's part of the negotiation process. But that is what missionary selling is about. And let's look at two more. Technical selling. Obviously, you're focusing here on the technical specifications. It depends again on when businesses do business with each other. Um, there could be many, when you're buying stationery in bulk, you don't really need somebody to explain to you how to use the stationery. Okay, For some people, you do. Okay, here's the pencil, but it hasn't been sharpened. Okay, right. So which end do I sharpen? I don't care. The lead is in the middle. Doesn't matter which side you use. Okay, I'll be worried if they say this is a pen. Which side do I use? Because it's quite simple which side of the pen you do use. But no, when you're buying stationery, people, it's quite simple. The box has a little image of a paperclip on it, and you know those are paper clips in there. You're not going to chuck them into the stapler because it's not going to work. Okay, so, but not a lot of technical training is required or a demonstration on how the product, but then you have very technical products that unfortunately you're going to lose an arm and a finger or a body part if you don't operate this thing properly. And that's where the technical specs and the demonstration that come with the correct assembling of the particular or use of a particular product is necessary, is essential. You go to, I did the mistake once, only once in my life did I make that mistake. It was before, it was when my wife realized she was pregnant with our first child, and we had to modify the house quickly. So what little corner that we used just to sit and enjoy ourselves socially, now had to become a sort of a working station because the working station had to move out of the second bedroom. So the second bedroom becomes a next child's bedroom. So I went to a shop and I bought one of these corner units. You've seen these corner units for computers, it's got shelves and stuff. And whoever thought of, whoever drafted those instructions, hell, that person is clever. Because this one goes in there. A4 goes in there, not A3, A4 goes in there. You can try and squash A3 in there, it's not going to work. And there's 2 or 3 items of all that's left at the end of the whole assembly. But what I did not realize is that with a corner unit like that, it's like building a puzzle. There's a specific order in which you do it. And some pieces need to fit before other pieces can fit. It took me 6 hours to build that thing. And then you've got 3 separate parts and eventually just, wow. The end result is a wow experience. But, thinking back, when the salesperson in the shop offered me, so we can assemble this for you and deliver it, and then it's going to be 200 Rand extra, I would have taken his offer now. But, yeah. So sometimes, yes, there are specific instructions, and they're quite good. They still, the packaging still include those instructions, but it's still your responsibility in the sales process to ensure that the proper demonstration has been done. So the technical selling is where an explanation of the proper functioning of the product is required, so it can perform at its maximum. New business selling focuses mainly on finding new customers and generating sales from them. So that's prospecting just on a larger scale. It is a bit more challenging because it's not retail where you can have 1 million clients spending $5 each to get to a 5 million turnover. Here you're looking at 5 people who's going to spend 1 million to get to the 5 million. Okay. Types of business purchases. There are just 2. And we've sort of to a certain extent have addressed them as well. Raw materials, that's direct materials. Not sold in that particular fashion or in that same form. Although you might be in a business that acts as an intermediary in a distribution channel where you buy and you deliver. But there's not too many wholesalers in that particular industry. Usually it's the supplier and the buyer are directly in contact with each other. And direct materials are specifically referred to as any raw materials that's used where your Indirect materials refer to the other two options of why businesses do business. You're buying it so you can actually reproduce it, add value to it, maybe just add something different, and then it's a complete product. Or you acting as a wholesaler, you're going to sell it as it is, or you are going to use it yourself. That's all indirect materials. Right. Again, the variance on that we've also addressed, so don't spend too much time on this particular slide. Straight rebuy, modified rebuy. Modified rebuy usually means you're putting in something extra to it. I'm thinking of a video that I'm going to upload the link. We can watch it next week. Right, using the internet. Internet has made things a bit interesting nowadays, and as I said there, as a matter of fact, just indication to you that this is not this manual is not more than 5 years old, but still it is old because it still says that the internet is definitely going to change the way in which the selling process happens. People, it has already. So internet makes it a bit difficult because sometimes, especially when the demonstrations need to happen, but that's also not a problem. Some of the children, students in the previous class said, "Oh no, I'm not going to go to that lecture. I'll much rather go into YouTube and find a video." So nowadays, anything. I did it the other day because I mean, I moved into a new place. The first time I actually had solar panels on my roof. That helps me save some, use the strongest energy source in the world, and also save some on my electricity bill. But then all of a sudden, winter starts during lockdown, and we've got cloud cover every day, and my water doesn't want to go hot because I mean, and it makes sense. Sun, clouds between them. Whew. But still, I mean, solar panels can be processed to also work in conditions like that. I don't know how to do it, but on the little panel it says phone 806, phone it. Guy said to me, "Sir, is it this and this model?" I said, no, don't come with that shit to me. I don't know. I've got no idea. I mean, but I can show you a photograph, and that's what we all do nowadays. If you're not sure, take a photograph. Boom, there we go. Oh yes, that's a so and so. So I couldn't care what it is. How do I solve the problem? Sir, go to the website. You've got our website. It's right under that number you phoned now. Go into the, I went on there. There's 15 different 90-second instruction videos that they tell you exactly what to do. Problem solved. That's what people do nowadays. Yeah. So yeah, can't do a demonstration, and that wasn't as a result of COVID. That was before COVID. A lot of people now use COVID as an excuse, though. But the same videos, yeah. Yeah. One of my son's friends who is a year older than him, and he didn't study after school. He immediately started working, and he worked at the real estate agent. And during lockdown, I was like, "Oh, how's Jock doing?" No, he's doing fine. I mean, because he could actually continue working, provided obviously that before we went into hot lockdown, that you have enough houses on your books of which you have created a virtual tour. But that's how people buy. I mean, that's how people buy houses nowadays. They go to site, they have a little virtual tour. Looks not too bad. Complement to that, all the photographs, different angles, and remembering the fact that, and that's where the virtual tour very often comes in very handy. Because when you take a photograph, when you want to try and sell your house, you're going to take it at the best time of day. You're going to take it at the best angle. So it tells you something totally different. The virtual tour, oh shucks, maybe I should have washed the dishes before I started with this video. It's more real. Okay, I've watched the virtual tour where a dog runs through the screen because it was just, but that makes it a bit more real. But still, that helps, and then you have a very good idea before you actually visit the place. And yeah, so Not all businesses are battling equally as a result of what has happened in the last 6 months. Managing the business sales force. How do you do that? Well, that's the challenging process in itself. Um, Working as a team is probably where the greatest challenge comes in. If you've provided a sufficient environment for people on the team to feel that they're all equally contributing equally, then um, you've already um, you've already won half the battle. Like drafting a proper job description before you advertise a vacancy, to ensure that you don't have people who apply but they don't meet the minimum criteria. And by the way, nowadays they kick it out. If you apply for a job online and they say, shh, oops, sorry, they don't take your admission because the criteria is very specific. This is what it says. Don't waste our time. Okay, so because people take chances. But then you have to ensure that your team that you get together obviously cover all the skills that's required for you to do a proper presentation and convince the buyer to buy from you. And you need to have experts in advertising, in sales, technical people, somebody from R&I or the research guys. Okay, so that's part of ensuring your success, and that is to get a team together that complement each other, because there's no one person in a business that knows everything. And I'll be reluctant to do business with with a business if that is the case. If it's the same guy pitching the whole time. Oh, I'm going to have a meeting with the IT manager today. Dana arrives. Okay, tomorrow morning, I actually have a meeting with the sales manager. Same person. Right. You don't walk away from that transaction. You run. Okay. Let's close here for the day. You've been good. And you've stayed awake through the entire session. I'm not sure if that is because you enjoyed it or because you are scared of Mr. T, who's here afterwards, and you don't actually. Yeah, I understand. Wait, I mean, he can pop in any minute now. So, no. Thanks very much for Landon, Lwando, who joined us online as well. We will talk to each other again next week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy doing all the assignments.